Outrageously podcast. This is the show where we teach you how to live an outrageous life, how to stop living a boring life. If you're staring down the barrel of 40 plus years in a job that you know is going to suck, you need to listen to this podcast because this is where we believe impossible is an opinion. And if you want an outrageous life, all you have to do is step up and take it. My name is Dave Thompson, and it is my pleasure to be joined in the commentary box in the podcast arena by the man who made $1.5 billion before 11 a.m. today.
Wow.
Matt freaking Kelly, what is up, brother?
Dave, listen, I hate to say it, but this week, it's a turning point. I think I've said that 2 or 3 episodes in a row now. This is a turning point.
Mate, it's so true.
Once again, and if I may be so bold, I actually there's a point I'd like to make, and that is that we might actually put our last 3 episodes to shame tonight.
Oh, mate, no doubt.
We might, because we're talking about a particular topic tonight that is going to strike people where it hurts, make people think, and that's exciting. That's really exciting.
Well, that's what living outrageously is all about, isn't it? It's like one step, and then the next time you take another step, and you take another step, and another step, and you keep getting better and better and better. And whenever that sloth attacks, you
just take it, chop it, throw it. We know how it works.
You've got to samurai that sloth. So, all right, so let's just get straight into it. What are we talking about today, Matt?
Dave, I think it's important. We've talked a lot about living your dreams and finding what you want and going for it and setting the goals and making it happen. But the problem is that there'll be so many people that don't know what they really want. They may think they know what they want, but they don't deep down know what they're actually striving for. So tonight, Dave, is about passion. It's about passion. It's about what motivates you, what you feel, what you want out of life. This is a really powerful topic, but it's exciting.
I love it because I myself experienced this for many years, and even when meeting other people who perhaps are in university or they're just in the corporate job and they're like, yeah, I've got this job or I'm doing this degree, but it's okay, but I don't really know what I want to do.
Yeah. Like,
how common is that?
We all know people who are going through something and they're doing it because they feel that they should, for whatever reason.
That's the sloth.
It's the sloth that prevents you from doing what you want to do. Yeah. The
should is the sloth.
That's it. We know that. We've talked about it before, Dave. Let's go. Let's do it.
That's right. And Matt Kelly, you're just going to have to excuse me a moment. It is about 4 billion degrees in the podcast arena here. We've just got the I think there are at least 7,000 watt lights coming onto me at the moment.
Excellent.
I am feeling the heat.
Excellent.
Compared to your good self over there chilling in the mass air conditioning. So
I am indeed.
Whew. All right. So today, what we're going to talk about is the obstacles that people face when they really want to. Maybe they already know their passion. Maybe they don't know it yet. But when they go after it, what obstacles do they face? So we're going to talk about some of those things. We're going to talk about how to break down those obstacles. Because really, the obstacles are just the sloth, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. The obstacles are always the sloth. And you may think that there's other reasons why it's always the sloth. Don't make up an excuse. You know what it is.
It's just the sloth. Like, imagine if we got it. Can we edit a photo of a sloth in here or something? Because once you see it's just a sloth.
Insert sloth here.
Yes, right here.
Done. It's there.
Yeah, it's just a sloth. So, all right, we're going to work on some techniques to ninja the sloth and remove the obstacles that are stopping you from finding your passion and living it, and really living outrageously. And then we'll finish with a few Jedi mind tricks for really cementing that passion so that you can find it and live it every single day.
Yeah, that sounds good, Dave. That sounds good.
Awesome. I'm totally pumped, man, because, this journey started for me, it's a very personal journey, very personal topic, what we're talking about here today, because it's so close to my heart. I was pushed down that law path, and it was the sloth pushing me down that way. For many years, I did not know what I wanted to do. And I think it came out of being at high school.
Very interesting. Because there's a lot of different motivations when you're in high school, and there's a lot of different forces pushing you in different directions. And at the time, you think you're doing the right thing, And no one really knows what the right thing is except you, because you know deep down what it is. You've just got to find it.
So at school, the people telling you the right thing, that would be your parents.
Yep.
That
Teachers.
would be teachers.
Yep.
That would be the cool kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, think about. I like this example, and you told a great story just prior to the podcast about this. Think about all those girls in school. So there might be a particular girl, and the cool kid says, "That girl, she is ugly."
Mm. Yep.
She's actually not that ugly, but the cool guy says, "You are ugly."
And Dave, what happens to that girl from that point forward?
She forever in her school days, she is referred to as ugly, and if any boy would go near her, they would be paid out.
Yeah, because she's the ugly girl.
And then what happens, invariably, the day high school is out, that girl goes out into the world, and there's all these other boys there, and the other boys see her, and they're like, "Ooh, hello, cheeky."
And she doesn't know what's hit her, because all along, she's been told something. She's been told something that is not true, but because one person said it, everyone believes it.
And she believed the sloth.
That's it.
So how can we relate that to what's happening with... you can relate that directly to going into jobs that people don't like. So what's at high school, well, at my high school anyway, we were told that to be successful, you have to be an accountant, a doctor, or a lawyer. Maybe an engineer. You have to be one of those things, otherwise you are not successful.
In many communities, that's the case. That's absolutely the case. There's a certain respected path that you take, and if you don't take that, you're not respected because you've taken the wrong path. And it's not one influence pushing this. It's everything. It's everyone around you. It's all the people that are so-called better than you talking down at you. All the people that are more advanced than you. You know it's not right. You can feel that it's not right. But it's the sloth, and it's these influences empowering the sloth to tell you that that's the thing that you should be doing, even though you know it's not.
If someone, you know, that's a big... So very early quick tip here for the podcast listeners. If someone tells you that you should be doing something, listen very carefully, because in 99% of cases, that would be the sloth.
Yep. I can't even... There's so many examples of that. I can look at this podcast right now. There'll be people that will see this and go, what are they doing? Why are they doing that? That's stupid. And they'd probably tell us that, because it validates in themselves that they're not doing it. So because someone else is doing something weird, different, whatever, it's strange and I don't like it, so I should tell them that. Not they're empowering themselves and achieving something and helping people and whatever, but, oh, they look silly or they're doing something funny.
So there's lots of peer pressure there, really. That's what we're getting at, isn't it?
It's that group think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like, that girl is good looking, and so everyone's like, oh yeah, she is.
Yeah.
You know? It's like you tell the story of the indie rock bands.
Oh, sure. Everyone likes the top bands, the popular bands, and then suddenly a few people go for the indie bands, and people clutch onto it, and that whole group that liked a certain group now suddenly merges across and likes someone else, and then merges across and likes someone else. And there's bands that go from having no following to a huge following to no following again, because there's this huge groups of people that are just doing whatever the cool thing is to do. They may like it, they may think that they like it, but they may not be opening themselves out to what else is out there and they sort of experience the music that they may like more. But because of that group think, that group thought motion, and following the pack, being a sheep, you follow to the band that your friends like, because then you're cool like them. And
you know what's an important point I think worth just noting here? If you follow the pack, you don't have to think, do you?
Absolutely not. You do exactly what everyone else does. It's so simple. It is a very simple life.
But I would argue, how fulfilling is that?
Well, does anyone really want to look back on their life and know that they followed everyone else the whole way and not accomplish what they really thought was right or what they really wanted to accomplish, but just went through and did what it sort of appeared to be the right thing to do?
If you're going mediocre, you're as close to the top as you are to the bottom.
That's it.
It's like the skier who goes skiing in a ski resort and he just follows the crowd straight down the middle of the run. at 9:15, even if it's a powder day, those tracks are rutted out.
That's not fun.
That's not fun. If he took a little detour off the side, maybe through the trees under the lift, he's going to find fields of fresh powder and the most amazing time of his life. If you follow the crowd, you're only going to get as far as the crowd.
That's right. That's right. You will never peak beyond mediocre if you're following everyone else, because everyone else the people you are following have the same thought process as you. If I follow the person next to me, I'll be cool, I'll be safe, it'll be comfortable. But it's not the right thought process.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And so other people that are saying, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this, for what purpose do you think they're doing that?
Dave, my personal view is they're doing it to validate their own decisions. If someone follows them, they're not crazy, they're not an idiot, they're not strange. Because that person follows them, they can sit back and go, oh, I'm clearly doing the right thing. That person validated my personal view that this is the right thing to do. Therefore, I'm going to keep doing it.
So, what we're saying here, Matt, is what we're saying that you can take the easy option and be the sheep, but you're only going to get rutted out powder, and you're as close to the bottom as you are to the top.
Yep.
And it's going to be quite mediocre. Safe, but mediocre. The other option is to live outrageously and be an outrageous leader. Really, it comes down to leadership, doesn't it? You need to lead yourself to what's right.
That sounds scary, Dave. Being the leader, that takes a big jump to do that, though.
It is a big jump. So what would you say to people?
Do you want to take the jump? Do you want to be the follower? Do you want to sit back and see that 1% succeed and achieve what they want to achieve? Or do you want to be part of that mediocre pack that goes through and does what everyone else does? For some people, that might be it, and they might be comfortable, and that might be the life they want. But I would argue that for 90% of people watching this, probably 95%, they know deep down there's things that they want to achieve. It's not a difficult ask. It's really not, because people know at some point that there's particular goals in place that they want to accomplish.
That's right. Well, mate, when I go skiing, I want to be tits deep, absolutely tits deep the whole way, and so that might mean I'll have to go into some crazy places.
That's right. But when you'll either go through there and you'll get severely injured and no one will find you, or you'll have the time of your life.
I'm pretty sure I'll have the time of my life.
There you go. The risk is low.
The risk is low. See, to me, the risk of staying in a corporate job or any job that is unfulfilling is like for 40 years, man. Like, think about that, all right? Think about what's going to happen 40 years. You're sitting in a chair for 40 years. How many freaking hours are you sitting down? How fat are you going to get?
So here's the crazy thing, Dave. If I said to you, for the next 40 years, you have to do the same thing every single day, and before you answer, because I know that you'll have a response to this, but before you answer, if you had to pick one thing, that's a hard thing to pick. And if you know now, on the first day of your job, that this job isn't right, how can you make the decision to go, yep, I'm going to do the thing that I don't like for the next 40 years? It could be, I would struggle to say something that I love doing, that I would want to do that every single day for 40 years, right? Because it's really hard to commit to something like that and say, I know 100% that thing is so good, I love that so much, I'm going to do that every single day, right? And it could be playing a sport, it could be hanging out on the beach, it could be any single pastime that you might have. But people choose to do the thing that they least want to do because it's the right thing to do.
Well, that's what the sloth says.
As far as they know, particularly when you're early in your career and you're really motivated and excited, and this is good, right? People go in it really gung ho. This is the right thing for me to do, and it rarely is. And I would argue that a lot of people later in their career go through and actually regret that. It's hard for us to say that now, but so many do. Who dies having lived an unfulfilling life because they didn't accomplish things that they actually wanted to accomplish?
Absolutely. So I'd like to throw a bit of an observation challenge out to our podcast listeners. So if you're out in a job now and you're a bit sus on it, you're like, not quite sure about this one, go and look at your boss, go and look at the supervisors immediately up your line, and look at them and go, is that who I want to be in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years? Because If it's not, you need to jump ship ASAP.
You know,
ASAP.
you already know. If you could look at that and say that's not where I want to be, then you know you're not. You shouldn't be standing where you're standing right now. You should be running in the other direction.
This fires me up, Matt Kelly. This really does, because I cannot stand people putting up with bullshit. If you know it's not right, fuck me, do something to change it.
Yep.
Like,
Amen.
I really get fired up about that. It's Gary V again. I know we go on about Gary V, but seriously, he is the freaking man. If you don't know Gary Vaynerchuk by now, go and get his damn books. He's a legend.
We have mentioned him enough times. You need to go and look that up.
Gary V says, if you're not 100% happy, change something. In 2006, Gary V was 99.9% happy with his life. So he did something about it. He started Wine Library TV, and his business went like 1,000% growth because he started a wine show on the internet.
And he was 99% happy with his life.
99.9% happy.
So that point one suddenly equated to something far bigger, arguably, than he even imagined, and made his life so much better. Like, look at how his life has changed since he did that, and he was happy. So imagine if you're currently unhappy, it doesn't take a big step to change the whole direction of the whole direction. You know where the end goal is. You know where you're going.
Because think about it, Matt Kelly. It's like if you're in a boat sailing in the open ocean and you change course just half a degree right now. Right now, you change half a degree. Draw that out over 1,000 miles, and you're hitting China instead of Tokyo.
You are a long way out from where you would have been if you continued on the path that you were going, and it only takes a very, very small change. I love that example.
So the question for the podcast listeners is: are you 100% happy? And if no, what the fuck are you going to do about it?
Because you've got an opportunity to change that right now. Right now, this second, you've got an opportunity to change the entire direction. That one degree, make that change.
Seriously, what the fuck are you going to do if you're not happy? Now, it's just as simple as that. It's as simple as that. If you're not happy, do something about it.
Amen, Dave Thompson. Amen.
Amen. I get a bit fired up about this, Matt Kelly, because, mate, I copped it so much at law school. I copped it so much. And, you know, the sloth is there telling you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. And I'm just there going, this is not right. This is not right. I've got to look for some answers.
Yep. And you knew all along.
I've been at law school 5 minutes, man.
Yeah.
5 minutes. And I let the sloth attack me for 5 years, for 6 years, before I finally realised that he was just a sloth. He was just a photo, insert photo here of sloth. You know?
That one degree for you would have been going, maybe I should enroll in something different. Maybe I should see what other options are out there. And now you would have fast-tracked that whole process. And arguably have known sooner. But the sloth is a powerful, powerful creature, because the sloth knows that it's hard to change. It's really hard to change that.
He's there telling you all this bullshit, all these limiting beliefs. He's saying you don't have enough money to go and start that business. That's a stupid passion. People are going to pay you out. That's what he's telling you.
He's saying don't wear that. People will pay you out. He's saying, don't listen to that song, people will pay you out. You can't talk to the ugly girl, people will pay you out.
Mate, I just want to show you something. Look at this.
Please do.
Okay. So, if you really want to destroy the sloth, go out and do something a little bit outrageous, right? That just is like a dagger to the sloth. Go get yourself some crazy-ass pants.
There you go.
Get something like that and walk down the main street of your town and strut, like really rock and roll, like party rock shuffle, you know?
Dave, that is the 1 degree.
You know, doing something like that, it just shows that, you know, people will think you're crazy. people will think you're an absolute nut job. But it's if you can go and do that, you can do anything.
Absolutely.
It's like the Tony Robbins firewalk. If you ever go to a Tony Robbins event, he makes you walk across 2,000-degree hot coals. And the message there is, if you can walk across 2,000-degree hot coals, pretty sure you can deal with any other shit that happens in your life.
You know what? Tim Ferriss talks about this as well. Tim Ferriss talks in quite a lot of detail about this. And in his books, he says there's a few exercises that he puts out there. But I know one specific one was to go out at lunchtime into the middle of the city when there's 10,000 people walking in different directions and lie on the ground. Just
comatose. Absolute comatose.
Just lie there. Don't do anything. Just lie there. And just you can even lie there facing up, gazing around. Strike people's eyes. Do it. Because if you can do that, if you can take the jump and go, I don't even care, I'm going to do that, what's stopping you from going out there and actually doing the things that you want to do? What's stopping you from taking that jump that is such a minor step, that 1 degree, tiny, this big, tiny, that one step changes the entire outlook. So if you can go out there and do something and make a bit of an ass out of yourself and feel a bit silly, right, and lie on the concrete and look at people as they walk past and they'll look at you like you're freaking insane.
Yeah.
They will. They inevitably will. But when you get up and walk away, you'll go, that was so embarrassing. That was so funny. Man, like, you've been through that experience. You've been embarrassed and that was hard. Whatever. What's stopping you then from doing something less embarrassing, less scary, less hard, but ultimately will give you such huge gains? That's a little exercise that he talks about. There's heaps of them. There's heaps of things you can do to try and build up that emotional, like, attachment to that fear. Get yourself attached to it and go, all right, this is the worst thing that could happen right now is me lying on the concrete and people think I'm an idiot. So if I do go and start my business, people might think I'm an idiot, but they'll probably think I'm less. They'll think that you're less of an idiot for starting a business and failing than they will for lying on the road staring at people as they walk past.
And you've only got to do it for 10 seconds, hey?
That's it.
Go lie on the road for 10 seconds.
In a busy spot, preferably.
Yeah, make it busy.
Yeah.
Make it busy. It's also very good for clearing a circle if you're in a busy nightclub and you want to break dance.
That's it. So lie flat and then jump up and get into it.
Yeah, that's it. I love it. We're getting all the tips. Man, are we going to have tips for the end or what?
Yeah, no, I've still got a tip. I've still got a tip.
Man, I've still got tips.
All right, good.
All right, awesome. So those are some of the obstacles. Like, people are going to tell you you're stupid and stuff like that. So, all right, so how do we overcome those obstacles?
Dave, there's a number of ways to overcome them. There's a huge number of ways to overcome them. I would argue that the first step is sitting back and looking at it and knowing that people are, oh, there you go, sitting back, shoulders back, look at that, chest pumped out. He knows that it's stupid. He knows he shouldn't be following the beliefs of these other people. He can see that.
I think absolutely. The first thing is to sit down and think to yourself, what is the truth for you? What is the absolute truth? What does it come down to? If you absolutely love German salami and cannot get enough German salami, damn, go out and do that, please. Because there are going to be a buttload more people out there on the internet who love German salami, and if you start talking about German salami with that enough passion, they're going to be like, woo! I was going to say a funny something then, but I didn't.
I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah. So please, whatever you're interested in, it's all good. It's all good. Like, you know, you'll talk to some big macho rugby guys, or, you know, they lift weights and they're big macho men. But then they'll tell you, like, they have this passion on the side that they don't like to tell people about. Like, they tap dance or something like that. And they don't like to tell people because they'll get paid out. Their status as the jock, the macho man, will be cut down a little. That's all bullshit.
There's a lot of there's always insecurities. There's always things that they're embarrassed about, or they're nervous about, or they don't want people to know. Being the big, muscly dude is a really good front for that. It's a really good front. It's a really good look how confident and strong and big I am. I don't need, nothing gets in my way. I'm awesome. But reality is, it's often standing in the way of another feeling, and it's sort of trying to mask that feeling and prevent anyone from seeing into that. And I'm cool if I look like this, and no one else knows what I think. No one else knows what I deep down I really think and what I really want. But as a result of being big, I can fit in.
But and when that sort of macho guy suppresses that aspect of him, suppresses that part of him, he's not going to be totally fulfilled.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that. There's always going to be a part of him that's missing. Always. You've got to honour all the different parts of you. And that is one of the true keys. You know? I had it myself, man. I played rugby for 14 years. I wasn't big and muscly, but I had that rugby player sort of tough guy that was sort of expected. But man, I love to dance. I seriously, I just like to dance. I'm not good at it, but I like to dance. But it's not
how many rugby players dance, Dave?
It's not cool, man. It's not cool. And you know what? I started to learn about this sloth and the samurai, and I was like, fuck me. That's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. If I want to dance, I can dance. You know? If I want to learn to sing, I will learn to sing.
That's it.
If I wake up and decide that I love paper origami, I'm going to make paper origami.
You're going to go on YouTube and you're going to look up how to make the freaking best paper origami anyone's ever seen in their lives.
And I'm going to hustle day and night to learn about paper origami so that I can be the absolute best. And that's the thing is, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. You're the social media dude. So
all right.
People are a little bit, I don't know, the traditional life plan is to go for those traditional sort of jobs. But isn't it the case that these days, because of the internet, you can make money off just about anything?
Certainly any idea. Certainly any idea. You only have to have a very small amount of passion about something, enough to push you to actually take action and do it. And we've looked at affiliate marketing, Dave, where there's some crazy products out there that are making people tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, because they've picked a really tight niche. And I'm talking super tight. You know some of those off the top of your head. But
like how to create a content-based podcast business?
There you go. Now that is niche. That is a niche product if I've ever heard one.
How's this for a niche product? So this guy he loved buying secondhand cars at a bargain, flipping them, or just buying secondhand cars and just selling them immediately because he could pick when a car was a bargain. He just had that knack. He just knew a little bit about cars, makes thousands of dollars selling information books, teaching people how to flip cars.
Yeah. If you know that you're good at something and you've got a passion about something, there are 1,000 ways of making money by doing that online. And you won't be a lawyer, and you don't need to go to university to do this. It's not difficult, it's not technical. You've just got to have that perseverance and that passion and really go in tight, this is what I care about. This is what I'm really interested in. I know that I love doing this thing. I know I love talking about this thing. I could talk about this thing all day. So what do? I go and I start doing an audio podcast on it, or a video podcast, or I record myself playing the game I'm passionate about and release that.
Absolutely. Or I write 6 articles about the topic and send it to the trade magazine that talks about that topic.
It's not hard to, once you know what the passion is, going super tight, going super niche, and then working out some sort of revenue model around that. There are so many resources for doing this as well. That's the other thing we haven't mentioned here. When you talk about affiliate marketing, you can develop an information product, Dave, put it onto one big website that allows all these other affiliates to come in, sell it, and get a commission. And as a result of that, you don't have to have any business skill at all. You develop a product, put it there, and watch all these other people sell it for you.
Exactly. Exactly.
How good is that? You've got your own complete distribution system, and you're not even paying for their salaries.
That's awesome.
They're taking a commission on top of what you want. So
the possibilities are endless.
There's so many ways of doing this. There's so many ways. If you know that there's a passion there, and there is always a passion there, you've just got to find it. When you know what that is, you go niche, and you make it happen. You can make money online.
So how do people find their passion? If there's a podcast listener out there right now, has no idea, he's probably studying financial planning or internal audit.
God forbid, yeah.
God forbid internal audit. Holy crap, man. I know that from personal experience. If you're studying something like that and you have no idea... All right, hold on. You think you have no idea what your passion is. You really know what it is. It's just the sloth is in front of your eyes hiding what it is. So let's help people right now to find their passion. I'd like to propose a question.
Propose it, Dave.
All right, so to find your passion, if you had unlimited time, unlimited money, what would you do day to day? People have got to ask themselves this.
Unlimited time, unlimited money. And is it the same thing every day?
Same thing every day.
Wow. Well, I know that I wouldn't be picking to go and do a corporate job.
Amen. So why are you doing it?
That's right. That's right. But even beyond that, where does the passion lie? Because you've got unlimited money, so you don't even have to think about the revenue model. It's more about what do you actually want to do. If you didn't have any responsibility at all and you could wake up and do it, what would you do?
So people are going to say, all right, I would go traveling. I would party. I would surf. I would start a business. And my response to that is fantastic. That's a fantastic start. That's awesome. And I would ask the next question. So for what purpose do you want to start a business? And then they might say something like, well, I want to make money. I have this idea that I want to share with people. I'm like, all right, so for what purpose do you want to share your idea with people? Well, I really like helping people. All right,
so suddenly, Dave, their dream, their ideal, isn't to start a business.
No,
we know it's not.
It's something much deeper. And if you think about it, what we talked about the travel, the business, the going surfing. Those things are what I would call vehicles. Vehicles for achieving... Oh, I'm trying to make a little car. Vehicles for achieving the end result.
So on that note, would you say that, if I said I would travel the rest of my life, I would go and see everything there is to see, would you say that perhaps that is a vehicle for me to get experiences? Just different experiences?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so, all right, so your purpose in traveling the world is to have all these amazing experiences. So for what purpose do you want to have amazing experiences?
Well, there you go. You might feel that that's what fulfills your life, is at the end of your life looking back and saying, wow, I saw and did everything that there is to do.
Well, can I just share a quick point, Matt Kelly?
Please.
You can go traveling, right? 2010, I traveled for most of the year, right? I wasn't that happy. Man, I traveled like 20 different countries. I went freaking everywhere, but I wasn't that happy. You know why? Because I was going from location to location, and I was just seeing stuff and doing stuff.
That's almost the sloth, Dave. You were doing something big, but the sloth was still evident in your life.
The sloth was there. You can only sip so many pina coladas on the beach before pina coladas on the beach gets boring.
Yeah.
So underneath it all, you need to keep asking yourself, for what purpose do I want this? And I'll cut you straight to the shortcut answer. And to be really fulfilled, the purpose that the purpose that makes you ultimately fulfilled is to contribute to other people. If you can make someone else's life better, there is no better feeling.
Wow. Do you feel that in your heart? Do you feel that?
Yeah, mate, you can feel... Mate, why else would we be doing this podcast?
Man, I know exactly why we're doing this podcast. It's because if one person gets value out of us doing this...
Yeah!
why we're here.
Woo!
That's why we're doing this.
That's it, man. That's it. Like, you know, it's 8:45 on a Wednesday night, and I've got 7,000-watt speakers. I mean, light bulb, making me sweat like an Indian in Mumbai. But I'm here and really happy.
It's called passion.
Mate,
Go
that's
full
what
circle.
It's
It's called passion. That's
like,
good.
think
Dave.
about, what do you really want? Like, what's lying underneath? What's the truth? Because when you work out that really all I really wanted was to contribute to people, there are 7 bazillion ways to contribute to people, aren't there? You can contribute.
Dave, you can do that right now in your house.
Matt Kelly, if you came over to my house and made me a fruit salad, you would be contributing to my life, and I would be extremely grateful.
In fact, I would argue that the way to Dave's heart is through the kitchen. There you go.
If you bring me a case of refrigerated coconut water, I will lose my shit. You will have massively contributed to my life.
Because you've hit that passion point in Dave, which is coconut water. That is one of Dave's many passions.
It is. But all right, so think about that. Keep asking yourself. All right, some people say, "Oh, I want to be an elite athlete. I want to play rugby, or I want to be in the NFL, or I want to play hockey, whatever it is." But for what purpose do you want that? Just ask yourself that question and really think about it. And then when you get the answer, you'll be like, wow, actually, I can get that in a wide range of ways. In a massively wide range of ways.
For sure. So what if it was I want to play in the NFL?
Well, that was personal story. I played rugby for 14 years. I wanted to play for the Wallabies. I wanted to play rugby for the Wallabies. That was my goal. I wanted to be in the NFL. I wanted to be in the Wallabies.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it. All right, for what purpose do I want to achieve that goal? And I was like, well, actually, I really want to be at the elite level of health and fitness, and I really want to represent my country. Those were the 2 things I really wanted to do. And then I thought, all right, well, for what purpose do I want to do those things? Well, I want to show people what's possible. You know, and we could go deeper, but that's deep enough for the moment.
Yeah.
I want to show people what's possible. So I wasn't getting the progress I wanted in rugby. I changed my approach. I now play beach handball, of all sports. Right? And, mate, it hasn't happened yet. I haven't played for Australia yet, but I'm on track.
How close? You are this far.
Mate, I'm in the state team. We're going to the Nationals in January. Mate, that's like 6 weeks away. It's close. It's close.
Yeah.
So change your approach. Like, work out what you really want at the base level. What's underlying it? What do you really want? And then how can you get that? Well, for me, rugby wasn't working out. I tried a different approach, and now I'm so close. And if I keep hustling, I will get there.
Is it time for some quick tips, Dave?
Yes.
I think we've gone so deep on this that if you don't leave this, at least thinking about what your passion is, at least thinking about it, and then thinking, why is it, and why do I want to accomplish that, and what does that mean for me, and in my life goal, what does that mean when I die, when I'm lying in my deathbed? What have I accomplished in myself? If you could find out what that is now, it's so easy to take that. We talked about the 1 degree. To take that 1 degree, that one step sideways, and reach that point.
Mate,
and that is life changing.
Mate, imagine if you did this when you were. Imagine if someone was there showing you this when you were 15. Right? Imagine what path you'd take. Imagine if someone showed you this when you're 20, when you're just in university. Imagine if someone shows you this when you're 25 or 30. If you're 30 years old and you live to 100, you still have 70% of your life to go. Damn.
Don't let the sloth get in the way, please.
Do not let the sloth get in the way.
Do not.
Do
That's
not
it.
let the sloth get in the way.
The sloth will get in the way. It will take advantage of you in unforgivable ways, and you will wake up when you're an old person lying there and regret everything. Do not let that happen to you. Please do not let that happen to you.
Please. Destroy the sloth now. Identify the sloth. Work out the best way for you to be the samurai. And then be the samurai every single second of every day. If you're not 100% happy, go and change. All right, Matt Kelly, what's your quick tip? Let's hit me. Or was that your quick tip?
That wasn't my quick tip, but I do have a quick tip, and I'm going to hit you with it right now.
Let's
A little bit of the story, but I promise we'll go fast. I was reading a blog today by MG Siegler. Now, MG Siegler was formerly a writer at TechCrunch, and he's been a blogger for about 7 years. At the moment, he's a general partner at the Crunch Fund, which is a big tech venture capital firm. Blah, 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 detail. He wrote a post today because it's 7 years ago to the day that he started blogging. Just on his own personal website, he started. And he wrote a bit about why he started and what motivated him. And the interesting thing was he said that at the initial stages, he felt really strange about it because he was sitting there and he was going, man, my friends are going to see this and they're going to think it's lame. And they're going to think I'm a bit strange. And why am I writing on the internet? No one's going to read this. Why bother? And then he was concerned about, well, hang on. What if I start and I don't have enough to write about? Then I'm going to look even more silly. Like, I need to go down this path in the right way and be really analytical about it so I know what I'm accomplishing. Anyway, long story short, he just started doing it, right? So he just literally grabbed on, said, okay, I'm going to start. And he started. And he wrote about every 3 days. And in the initial stages, he'd send a link out to a friend and the friend would comment on it and that'd be the one view that he got for that article. He kept going and gradually he sort of built up a little bit of an audience, but it sort of plateaued at a point and didn't go any higher. And in the last 18 months, it's sort of blown out and it's just going at this steady rate up. He's getting huge audiences and you can tell that his writing has improved dramatically. But the one thing he said in this article, at the end of the article was, the key to my writing is rhythm. Because, and I'm quoting here right now, he said, once you interrupt the rhythm, it's hard to pick it up again. And life is continuously trying to interrupt that rhythm. You know what he's saying? He's saying the sloth is trying to prevent you from succeeding in your goal. The sloth is trying to prevent you from getting to that point. And this isn't a secret. It's nothing new. We've talked about this in every single episode when we talk about the sloth. The sloth is the one stepping in there and trying to stop you. So my big tip this week is just to go, all right, what's my passion and what will it take to accomplish that? And that perseverance. Because he's reached huge points of success and it took him at least 5 years of writing every 3 days, sometimes more often, sometimes less, but every 3 days to no audience. He didn't have any success initially. He just kept going. And eventually, someone picked him up, gave him a chance, and now he's doing massive things, and he's really accomplished that dream. So, find your passion, take the first step, persevere.
I love that story. Great story, Matt Kelly. Great story. And you were telling me before, like the first 3 years, he had like 0 hits, didn't he?
He was getting very few hits.
Like,
the only
no
people
one
responding,
was reading his stuff.
No, the only people that responded were his own friends that he'd sent the link to.
And then, because he stuck at it, he was away.
Yeah.
He was away. Oh, I love that. And you know what? He could be talking about absolutely anything.
It does not matter what the topic is, Dave. It does not matter.
He could love, and remember this from last week, he could love...
Wow, still there.
Mate, he could love drawing faces on small notepads. But if that's what he loves, that is living outrageously. That is 100% heart and soul. That is awesome. I love that. All right, so my quick tip is, and we're going to put this on the blog because it's a little bit of an exercise. It's quite quick, but I really want people to work this one out because it's big. It's big. This gets you, you know how we were talking about what you got to work out what's underlying everything? This allows you to do that, right? So once you know your mission, in life, once you can actually put words to your mission, there are so many different vehicles for achieving that mission. So what I want people to do is ask themselves the question and say these words with intensity. I want people to find their own little space and just be within themselves and just go, the purpose of my life is to, and then command the answer. Command the answer. And if you don't get the answer the first time, you just need to be a bit more intense. The purpose of my life is to, and command the answer from your brain, because your brain will give you the answer if you command it enough. But you know, some people out there, they might have to fire up a little bit. They might. The purpose of my life is to. You know, did I look like a bit of a dick then to the general public? Probably. But do I know what the purpose of my life is? Amen. And now I know the underlying cause. I can choose any number of vehicles to achieve that mission. I'm fucking the sloth every day.
Samurai.
If that's what it takes, if you just need to fire up and the purpose of my life is... You might have to ask yourself that 10, 12, 20 times. Do it. The answer will come. Your subconscious brain is 30,000 times more powerful than your conscious brain. Command your subconscious brain to give you the frickin' answer, and it will.
I love it.
Sounds weird, but it does work.
That's one for the whiteboard.
That is one for the whiteboard.
Yeah.
So go out and find what your mission is. I'll post some things on the blog about like how to structure your mission statement, but you got to make sure you know. So I know that the purpose of my life is to be an outrageous leader who creates epic experiences for myself and others. Like, man, how's that for certainty? Like, I freaking know that, and I believe that at the core, man.
So what's the vehicle for that, Dave? How are you actually going from where you are now and knowing what that is? What's the vehicle that's getting you there? Well,
mate, I can choose. The beauty is that there's a billion vehicles, but at the moment, living outrageously unlimited choices. The vehicle that I'm focusing on at the moment is beach handball. Well, one of the vehicles.
Yeah.
So beach handball, Sunday afternoons, it's the best thing to do on a Sunday. We have music, it's spectacular, heaps of fun with your friends down by the beach. You get fit, you get a tan. Man, it's the best time. You know, but that's only one way for me to lead and create an outrageous experience for my friends. Like, you come down yourself. It's a freaking good time.
Yeah, no, it's an awesome time.
You know, the other way is through this personal development coaching that I'm doing, through showing other people how to find their passion so that they can kick butt and live outrageously. You know, there's many, many vehicles. If I can help people to find their passion, they are going to live an outrageous life. They are going to have epic experiences in their life. If you're sitting in a cubicle, does sitting in a cubicle and the words epic experience, do they typically go together ever?
I've never heard the word epic probably ever used in an office environment ever.
Mate, look, on that point, I think we're just going to cut it straight here because it's an appropriate point. If you want a boring life, go sit in a cubicle. My name's Dave Thompson. That was Matt Kelly.
We'll see you guys later.